Oh yeah, it's Collider Movie Talk live. Today we're talking about Scarlett Johansson's comments about Black Widow. We're also going to talk about the Gemini Man trailer and the Zombieland Double Tap trailer that just dropped today. All of it here on Collider Movie Talk. There's the logo doing the thing that it does. And there's me. How's it going, everybody? I'm sitting in the host chair again for the lovely Perry Nemiroff, who is off handling other business. Congratulations to the entire Nemiroff family from us here at Collider Movie Talk. Lonnie had her baby. Congratulations, Lonnie. Yay. Congratulations, Perry, and the whole Nemiroff clan. Hope you name him John. All right, let's introduce my panel of guests today. Let's go around the table. The great Jay Washington is here to join us, fresh from a wrestling ring. How are you, Jay?
I'm good. The baby has a name already, and it ain't John.
Come on.
Go to you
Come
follow
on.
Perry on Instagram. The baby's been named. Why would you name the baby John? No.
You know, sometimes you wish for things in life. Speaking of wish things for life, I wished for a Englishman to come here, and there he is, right there. Simon
there.
Thompson. How are you, Simon?
Hello there. Fresh. I was going to say fresh off a plane, but I'm not. I came from Hollywood. I can't pretend I flew in for this.
That's a good horror movie. It came from Hollywood. I like
true.
that. All right. All right, let's get into it. Our first topic of the day. Scarlett Johansson was interviewed by our own Frosty Weintraub at Comic-Con over the weekend. The video dropped today on Collider.com. You can go read the article and watch the video after you're done with Collider Movie Talk, please. And in the interview, she's asked by Frosty about how the process of the script of Black Widow came about, what we can expect from this movie. And it was a really nice window into this process there. And Scarlett Johansson answered and said that her and Kevin Feige have been working on the script for a couple of years and wanted a Black Widow movie that would expose the ugly truth of the story, one that was raw and real. Feige kind of rubber stamped that thing and said, absolutely. And this is the kind of film that we're going to get from Marvel with Black Widow, with Scarlett Johansson. Jay, you hear these comments from Scarlett Johansson. Does this excite you that we're not going to get just a fun action movie? This is going to be a little darker.
Between the comments and the footage that we got at Comic-Con, it definitely excites. I think the biggest question that everybody is wondering, what's the rating of this movie going to be? Because for it to be dark, raw, and gritty with the story that we saw her tell a little bit of, and I think it's Civil War, I think it's Winter Soldier, about the backstory, what she went through, to see that it has to be real, hit that point where it's like, yo, this just can't be PG-13. So and I know everybody's like, well, what does rating matter? Because it lets you know how far you can go with the film.
Right.
If you're trying to get this ugly, raw truth, if we're trying to find out about this red in her ledger and so much, everything she's been through. Because again, I tell everybody, I was one of those people at first when they said a Black Widow movie, I was like, no, we don't need it. It's way too late.
Oh, I see.
Because she'd been in the MCU 10 years.
Certainly.
We've seen this character. We've watched an evolution of her. No one too much cared about her full backstory because we got some of it. But then you see this footage at Comic-Con changes your whole mindscape. Now, granted, everybody didn't see it, so there's a select amount who were in Hall H that saw it. But hearing how long they went through the process, they didn't just throw this together, knowing how we all now trust Kevin Feige when it comes to this. This pumps up my anticipation even higher just for next year.
Well, let me pump it up even higher. She goes further in the interview to talk about Kate Shortland, who is directing the movie. That gives you an idea of the kind of approach they're going to have because they've hired a director like this to do this, Simon. She's directed Lore and Berlin Syndrome, and we were just talking off camera about a Somersault, which is a fantastic film that both of us discovered. She's an Australian film director. This is what Kate Shortland said about the movie. I think that's what drew me to the story. She's got so many secrets, Black Widow. She's got so much vulnerability, and I think that's what makes her such a great heroine. In this film, we get to understand her past and put the pieces of herself together and come out a whole person. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I think first of all, I think she's a great choice. I really think she's a great choice. And you touch on the fact that, is it too late? And, they've really thought about it. I think they've had to think about it. I had an interesting conversation with Peyton Reed about 18 months ago when the last Ant-Man movie came out. And he was talking about the fact that, nobody's had a flop Marvel movie. So you don't want to be that movie that flops.
Fair enough.
You don't be the one that's at the bottom, that's down there with the Incredible Hulk and that kind of thing. So you want to make sure that if you're going to do this is a character that's 10 years old, people are familiar with, you want to do it right. And I think it's Australian filmmakers. Australia's an amazing territory where there's so much talent in writers, directors, and producers. Where they're really good at telling dark. We often look at other areas, like we often go to Asia for directors when we want something that's complex, or even the darker side of sort of Americans. But I think there's something from that sort of that other part of the world that really they do fractured really well. And I've always found Black Widow, not necessarily is it too late for the movie, I've always always found her a very, apart from, every now and again, she's a really plain character. They've never really known what to do with her. We have had a sense of this fractured history, but they haven't really known what to do beyond that. And I think from Kate's previous work, she gets those beats, she gets those tones. And me personally, I would say go darker, go harder. Otherwise, don't do this half-assed. Go big or go home. And we know that Marvel movies with a higher rating can sell. And irresponsible parents will take small kids to see these movies anyway if they're R-rated. I've seen kids in Deadpool who were like 10.
Exactly.
So we know that those people will go and see it.
I think for hardcore comic book fans like myself, Natasha Romanoff is one of our favorite characters in the Marvel Universe because of her badass storylines in the comic books. We're going both being a heel or a face, as we might say in wrestling terms, good and bad person here, doing some interesting espionage stuff, twisting and double turns all the time with her. So you never know what you get from Natasha Romanoff. And if this film kind of reminds us of that, I would be extremely happy, because that's the one thing that I've really found missing from from Scarlett Johansson's portrayal and the way she's been written in all the Marvel movies is we don't get that sense from her that she could turn at any time because of the situation, or because maybe she's been paid or bought out in the situation to do what she has to do.
And she's one of the few characters in the MCU that haven't really made that close to page to screen transition. We've seen a little bit of play from various directors, producers and screenwriters who've made each of the characters their own. If you compare, say, a Doctor Strange to a Thor, the way those characters, who are very different characters, are handled very differently. And I think Black Widow is the one that has been massively underserved when you compare to what she is as a character in the comic book universe.
And also, one of the things we were discussing is this is about her past, but it's more so about Florence Pugh taking on the role of Black Widow going forward. So it's like you have to have this delicate balance where we're trying to let everybody know what you didn't know, but now introduce you to this new character, meld the both together, and then blend right into phase 4 with no problem. So that's the trickiness with this, and I think that's what Kate Shortland brings to this, to be able to navigate that.
And I'm telling you, this is the honest truth. After hearing these comments from Scarlett and this stuff from Kate Shortland, I'm excited now. I was with Jay a little bit. I was a little tepid about this idea because I'm like, well, do we really need it this far into the situation? But this kind of mirrors the Hawkeye TV show as well, where he might be handing the mantle off to Kate Bishop. Is Scarlett going to hand this thing off to Florence Pugh?
I think there's a difference, but I think there's a difference with when you compare the Hawkeye situation. Everybody's been missing Jeremy Renner's character. Like, we wanted more from it, even though we know Hawkeye as an Avenger. What do? You have a bow and arrow. That's all, but we wanted more. We wanted to know that Budapest story, which we're going to get in this movie.
I hope so.
And then when we saw him training his daughter in Endgame, how he had that, everybody knew what was coming forward. And so we wanted to see that. We got to see him be a badass as Ronin. So they gave us so much to make everybody's mouth water for this Hawkeye series.
The difficult thing I think they're going to really have to look at, and something I think that a lot of people haven't talked about, is obviously we know this Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow. To take her younger, to go back and tell that story, it's going to be very difficult to not negate or erase the future Black Widow when this is a storyline and a line we're going to be continuing. That is going to be tricky to handle, but I'm pretty confident Kate can certainly do that well.
This is one bit of footage that I was sad to have missed because I wasn't at Comic-Con this year, and I wish I'd seen it. Would have liked it would have been interesting to see what the look of it is. It may have even excited me even more.
30 days of shooting.
It's pretty incredible.
30 days.
Well, apparently you need 2 years to do a Top Gun movie, but 30 days is Black Widow is just fine.
Time out, because Tom Cruise had to learn how to fly an F-18, literally.
Well, the cast includes David Harbour, as Jay mentioned, Florence Pugh, O.T. Fagbenle, hope I'm saying that right, and Rachel Weisz, who recently in an interview said there's going to be a lot with Taskmaster, so that's going to be fun to see as well. It's going to drop May 1st, 2020 at this point. That's when it's scheduled to come out. So good comments, great comments. Get you excited to see what's going to happen next in the Marvel Universe. All right, next up on the show, we're going to talk about the Gemini Man and the Zombieland Double Tap trailers. But first, and we'll answer your questions from the live chat, which Dorian is picking out and sending to me. But before we dive into that, here are some plugs for you. First, let's jump to a little Riley Roundtable plug from the host himself, Mark Riley.
Hey guys, it's Riley here. Let me tell you about the Riley Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Rocha, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Riley Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
That's a Riley Roundtable. I've been on it a few times. That's an excellent show. Give it a listen. Give it a watch. Jedi Council drops today at 5 o'clock as well. We welcome Christian and Ken. Welcome to Michael Young to the show. Talked a lot about what's going on in the world of Star Wars this week. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, our spoiler review. We're dropping that later tonight. For some of you that are going to see it tonight, you can listen to or watch our spoiler review. It's me, Christian Harloff, and Dennis Zen breaking that thing down for you. Massive Tarantino fans. Okay, let's jump into our next story, and that is the Gemini Man trailer and the Zombieland Double Tap trailer. Let's start with Gemini Man, the Will Smith film coming from Paramount Pictures with Ang Lee in the director's chair. Will Smith is a retired assassin being hunted by a 23-year-old clone of himself. Oh, if I could see a 23-year-old John Rocha. Smith plays both parts, and as you can see, and the film doesn't shy away from them going head-to-head in a number of scenes if you've watched the trailer, which is incredible. And there's grenade tossing, brawling, there's a motorcycle getting hit in the face with, all this kind of stuff going on. It's incredible. Simon, you had a chance recently to see some of the footage
I did,
on
yeah.
this, which I saw you tweet about. Talk about the trailer.
Yeah, I went to
and
Paramount.
footage.
Obviously, this is a documentary, Gemini Man.
Yes, it is.
It's based
Will
firmly in
Smith
reality.
facing himself.
Very, very clear. Just have to be honest about that up front.
So then I Am Legend comes in somewhere.
Absolutely, that's in the universe somewhere down the line. Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. This is a movie that I was not particularly excited about. It was a movie that I was very nervous about, and the first trailer when I saw it, I was like, okay,
right.
I'm on board with this. I still have concerns, so it was nice to be able to go along this week. And there's a full report that I did actually for IGN about the footage, but I'll touch on a few points here. The thing is it's not de-aged. People are saying that Will Smith is de-aged for that younger him, and he plays a guy who's in his 40s and a guy who's in his earlier version of him in his 20s. He has not been de-aged. What they have done with Will Smith for this movie is create Will Smith as a CGI character. And they've completely, everything from the clothes, so they haven't tried to put somebody else's face on a body and get him to do the workout. They wanted it to be real Will Smith. So they went back to a lot of photos of Will Smith when he was in his 20s.
Yep.
They went back to some of his early movies. They used Bad Boys as an influence. They used 6 Degrees of Separation. They used a lot of those early movies. Some of Men in Black, but his physique had changed slightly for that. And they built a Will Smith. So Will Smith physically didn't have a stuntman to play one person or a ball on a stick. It was Will Smith playing Will Smith, and then they put the younger Will Smith on top of Will Smith. It's a Will Smith skin.
Oh.
It is incredible.
Wow.
Absolutely incredible.
Okay.
It looks insanely realistic. It works a lot better than de-aging I've seen in movies.
Okay.
So it's a very different process. It took years to do this. Also for me, the footage I saw was in 3D.
Okay.
We saw a number of disconnected scenes. We saw a behind-the-scenes featurette and a trailer. All of the scenes had completely different tones. Some of them were Will on Will. Some of them were Will with Clive Owen. And we saw just what was a general action scene. The movie is shot at a very high frame rate. So it looks insanely realistic. It looks like a computer game. It doesn't have that feel of you watching an action movie. It's I would say, hyper-real.
Okay.
It's almost a feeling to it. And it's in 3D, which puts it right in your face.
Wow.
So you're either going to really like this or you're not. And it's really difficult to tell from short clips because it's short bursts. It takes a little while to get into that, to get your brain to work with that. The action scenes are very good. The performances from Will Smith and Will Smith are great.
Wow. Can he win 2 Oscars?
Jerry Bruckheimer.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Jerry Bruckheimer actually brought up that this is an Academy Award winning performance potentially from Will Smith.
Wow.
You get dramatic Will and you get younger, slightly more innocent, sort of, naive Will. So you get literally the whole gamut of Will Smith performances over decades.
Well, certainly we get that last line where he's looking at himself and says, "We can't reveal what
we
are."
Yeah.
Jay, you didn't get a chance to see the footage, but you've seen the trailer. What's your
You
reaction to the
see
trailer?
the younger Will being emotional with Clive Owen. That was one of the things that
when he
really
hugs him.
that he loves him. That was one of the things that stood out to me. But also the fact that you watch Will Smith get smacked with a dirt bike. I can't do because of like you said, how it looked. It looked so realistic. You saw it happen from multiple times as well. Yeah. The action is on point, and we know Will Smith can do action. The last big action thing we saw that a lot of us attribute to is Suicide Squad, where he tried to save the hell out that movie. But he does great at this, and to watch him play opposite himself that's a challenge for any actor. To be, you have to play your own nemesis, but also play yourself in a lower role. How would you feel being weakened and brought down and being lied to about everything? And I just want to, it shows you a lot of range from Will Smith, which we know he can deliver. And I think we get all of that range in one film.
Absolutely. It looks fantastic.
Twice.
And
Twice.
You know, I was with Simon. I was like, oh, is this another After Earth? Oh, no. Like that kind of feeling.
I think everybody.
Yeah, but then you see the trailer and you're like, oh, this looks like a little deeper than we thought. So I hope that the action sequence just to get you in the theater, but once you get in there, it's more of a psychological study.
Yeah.
That excites me because Will can go there, been doing it since 6 Degrees of Happiness or whatever that
Separation.
film is.
Yeah.
6 Degrees of Separation. He's fantastic in that film. And so to see, he's been doing it for quite some time, getting in these dramatic places. So.
Well, you mentioned the crying scene, and that was something that was actually picked up when we were all in one of the halls at Paramount. Because what they've done is it's actually Will Smith doing the acting, crying as Will Smith, and then they put the CGI Will Smith onto the face, so it matches. It's like Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible, wearing a mask, and you know it creases with everything, and it shows the real face. That's what this is. This is a younger skin of Will Smith, CGI created, fitted to Will Smith for his real emotions, not another actor. That's why it looks so real.
Wow. Oh. Botox lovers are now excited. All right, Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Clive Owen and Benedict Wong are in this. It hits theaters on October 4th, so later on this year, look for that. All right, our next trailer is Zombieland Double Tap. It is the sequel to 2009's, I think.
Yeah, 10
Zombieland.
years.
Sony Pictures releasing this thing. Ruben Fleischer's returning to direct it. You have Jesse Eisenberg coming back. Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone, Abigail Breslin. They make their way across the zombie-ridden dystopia. It's 10 years later. Fleischer says a lot has changed in the last 10 years. His interview with EW says in the 10 years since the first movie, zombies have evolved into different types of zombies. The one that's causing the big threat are the T-800 zombies. Nice reference to Terminator there, that are stronger, faster, and harder to kill. Jay, you saw this trailer.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun. Riley and I did our reaction, which you can see on Collider video. What do you think about this trailer?
You can see my reaction whenever I upload it. I did one too. I just haven't had a chance to get to it.
Yikes.
But no, I just haven't had a chance to edit and upload it. But I did like the trailer. It wasn't one of those make me super laugh. It's just one of those I wanted to pay attention because it's been 10 years since the first film. Yeah. And you watch the evolution. You watch the family bond that's happened over the 10 years. You watch Woody Harrelson as Tallahassee, how he's more overprotective of Abigail Breslin's character. Yeah. You see this and you watch it. You see Jesse Eisenberg trying to fall in love with Dunce, for lack of better words. And you get that humor that you've always had it with it. And when they did the name crawls and you saw Academy Award winner Emma Stone, first thing they do is show her shooting a bazooka. Right. So I love what they're bringing with this, but also, this is Ruben Fleischer. He did it. Then at the same time, I go, he made Venom.
Well, Venom made $800 million.
Yeah,
so
because
what are we talking about?
Because they wanted to spite everybody.
Hey, man, you make that money.
I get it. However, and he put Woody Harrelson in the worst red wig in history.
Well, look, James Wan did Aquaman. Don't get me started.
That wig wasn't that bad, but nonetheless,
please,
it wasn't as bad as he looked like Carrot Top on cocaine. Now, I did love the fact that I love what this trailer had to offer, though. So I'm excited to see this movie when it comes out.
Yeah, you look at this. I'm excited as well. I was afraid it was going to hit the same beats as the first film, which happens sometimes. Even when you bring back the same director, this looks like all these actors have had their time away from it and are excited to be a part of it again. A lot of funny stuff to start off. The whole rapping stuff at the beginning was great, and shooting and all was perfect. All that the rap song rather that was there, and how it went, and the fact that they're leaning into the family thing. We got to go get Abigail's. As the world goes on, even though there's zombies, the world goes on. Teenagers run off with their boyfriends. That stuff happens. You got to go get them. And you had Luke Wilson and Jesse Eisenberg coming in at the end, which is brilliant. Luke Wilson and Thomas Middleditch coming out at the end, which is brilliant. What did you think, son?
I thought it was good.
Okay.
I thought it was good. And this is actually a positive.
Okay.
When I see trailers for comedies that instantly are all the lols, I'm a bit like, what else have you got?
Yeah.
What else have you got? I don't want to see it all up front in one trailer. It often spoils the movie. So I'm kind of like, okay, give me a little bit more on the other trailers. I'm very happy with that. So I was actually happy. I didn't think we were going to see this movie at all. I thought this was like the Friends movie. Where's the Friends movie? Where's the Friends movie? It's not coming. Right. So I thought it was a case of, yes, let's talk about Zombieland 2 for the next couple of years. I'm wondering if they're going to call Zombieland Tap and then this one Double Tap now, just so they all... But no, I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic. I do like a lot of the touches that they've done in this.
Yeah.
So I am optimistic optimistic that this is going to feel like a movie that deserves to be on the big screen and not like one that I'm like, that would have been better on Netflix.
Well, yeah.
That's the thing. But I'm looking forward to it. And there are a lot of movies coming out in the last part of this year that actually I hadn't really given much thought to this year. And now this is one of them. And I'm kind of like, actually, it's something that I'm looking forward to. So I'm kind of 2 thumbs up.
Okay.
Thumb and a half.
This one also comes out in October. It comes out October 18th. Rosario Dawson's in the trailers in this thing.
Yeah.
Zoe Dutch, I think, is the one playing the blondest. She is hilarious already in the trailer. And it's great to see Luke Wilson get a little bit of shine because it's been a while since you've seen him in something where he's a prominent
Quick question.
player.
October 18th. Isn't that the exact same date Joker comes out?
Oh, yeah, probably. Ooh, wouldn't that be funny? Hey, Tiff, I'd like to go see Joker. Tiff, send me to go see Joker, please.
But you get what I'm saying? It's like people should see this movie.
Yeah.
But if this is the same weekend as Joker comes out,
it'll happen. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's got its own way. It's a comedy versus what Joker is. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's jump into the live chat. That's our review of both those trailers. Those are coming out in October, my birthday month, in case anyone wants to take me. All right, let's hear. What's the first thing? Okay, J. Scott Friel asks, of all the stars reprising their role in Zombieland Double Tap, which are you most surprised returned?
Emma Stone.
Yeah?
Emma Stone. Hands down.
The Academy Award winner now who can do all type of high-level films and these big marquee films to come back to something that's 10 years old because you have a love for it.
Yeah.
To come back to that. Of course, you have Academy Award nominees, but she's a winner.
Yeah.
You know, I think that is the most surprise.
Okay. Same thing?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's just the kind of movie that she doesn't do now.
Yeah.
And you get that feeling that she's like, it was great fun. It got her where she needed to be. She's moved on to being a serious actress. I like it when people can come back and go, I can still be a jackass.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for Tom Hanks to come back to Splash 2, but he'll never do that. All right. This comes from...
It's not the only one.
Yeah, right. This comes from Zeno Hour, which, Jay, this comes on what you just mentioned. Joker, Gemini Man, Zombieland 2, Jojo Rabbit, Maleficent 2, and Addams Family are all coming out in October. Which movie will own October at the box office?
Jesus.
I say Joker.
I say Joker for sure. I mean,
Right?
It ain't going to be Addams Family.
no one cares. Unfortunately, because there's no Raul Julia. God rest his
Could be
soul.
Maleficent too, though. That Disney.
It's a Disney
Jolie,
movie,
yeah.
but depending on what happens at Venice and TIFF, will show you what Joker will do in October. Depending on how the reviews come out of that.
Yeah.
Those reviews will tell that we know Zombieland is going to make some money no matter what.
Right.
But the winner, Gemini Man will make some money.
Yeah.
Maleficent is Disney. We count that on anyway. It's going to make its money regardless.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's what Joker does at TIFF and Venice that'll let you know if it for sure will win October.
And also look at the fact that, looking at the ratings for those movies. I mean, Maleficent's got such a really big audience, and that's got the heritage. Gemini Man is something new, but Will Smith is back in vogue.
Right.
Will Smith is back in vogue, so we've got to see what the rating's going to be on that as well. But I think Joker, it just has that, whether you're a DC fan or you're a Marvel fan, it just has that, cross appeal.
Yeah.
People love the Joker as a character.
They do.
And this is something really different. And it's Joker as Joker. It's the evolution of Joker. It's not Joker and Batman. It's not Joker and whoever. I'm going to go with Joker.
Okay, I got a great question here from Luis Enrique de la Peña, a faithful watcher of the show. Name a character or actor you would like to go through a zombie apocalypse with. Character or actor?
Terry Crews. Let's do this.
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. You know why? Because I just feel like I'll be able to laugh while I'm killing zombies. You know what I'm saying?
At his advanced age? All right, man. Who do you got?
Black don't crack. I ain't heard his knees creak or nothing in no
It don't
videos.
crack, but it breaks.
It
What do
does.
you think? What do you think, Simon?
Do you know, I think it would be hilarious with Samuel L. Jackson. Because I think half the
Why are
time...
you taking these old people?
Hey,
All right.
first of all,
You know the old saying, never don't get caught in a zombie apocalypse without a 70-year-old black guy?
Sure, that's a good
But
saying.
no, seriously, he'd be this thing between really wanting to kick some ass and not giving a rat's ass.
No,
and I think that
that's
would
fair.
be really
God, all these
entertaining.
goddamn zombies.
Just saying.
My choice is Tom Hardy. That's the guy I go through.
Man, come on, it's zombies. Like, which Tom Hardy are you getting though? Which Tom Hardy do you think you're getting?
I'm gonna kill the zombies. I won't be able to understand what he's doing. I'm just gonna
mumbling
I'm just
Tom
gonna follow
Hardy.
it.
Okay,
That's
you
all.
want that
I'll tell
one?
you who'd be interesting is Tom Hanks. Because even zombies like Tom Hanks.
Well, you know, because what zombie's going to kill Mr. Rogers? Okay, we all saw the trailer for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. What zombie's going to be like, friend,
That's perfect.
Charlie? Like,
I get you. We got to wrap up now, but there's one question I had to get to. J. Scott Frail, you get another question. He says, about Angel Has Fallen, why are they still making movies in that franchise? I'll tell you why, son. Because the first two films were great, and this is the third one, and I can't wait to go see it. I saw Hunter Killer too. Gerard Butler is my spirit animal, one of my spirit animals, and I can't wait to see the sequel. He's throwing talk about a 7-year-old black man. He's throwing Morgan Freeman into a river to get him away from drones. And they actually talk about concussions in this film, because you know what action stars? You would get concussions. I love it.
Gerard Butler made Geostorm.
That was a good movie. That's a guilty pleasure of mine. I'm not gonna lie.
The second movie in this series was so unbelievably bad. There were times where Butler and Freeman, you could tell they weren't even in the same room. They just got, seriously, there are scenes where Gerard Butler's just talking to an old black guy with grey hair. That's all it is. It's so bad. And also, that tagline for the second movie, prepare for bloody hell, makes no sense if you know British English language. It's nonsense. It's gibberish. And the movie was just terrible. Angela Bassett was happy to die in that movie. Have I spoiled it? Sorry.
Simon.
You've only had 5 years to watch it.
Damn it, Simon. Anyway, the Lionsgate released the trailer. It was 1 minute and 20 seconds today. So go see it. I can't wait to see it. I'll probably never get to review it anywhere, but I can't wait to go see it. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here on Collider Movie Talk. I really appreciate y'all taking it. I really appreciate Jay Washington stopping by and Simon Thompson.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
It's always great to hang out with you guys and hang out with you all as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Adam Smith in the booth there. Thanks to Dorian Parks sending me the questions. We will see you tomorrow with another episode of Collider Movie Talk, 4 p.m. PT to round out the week. All right, take care. Oh, 3 p.m. Sorry, 3 p.m. PT to round out the week, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.